Okay, so today we are going to be giving clues about a line, and they're going to tell us what form they want us to write that equation of the line. If you notice in this first set, and I believe most of these sets are going to be slope-intercept form. Every once in a while, though, they like to sneak in a little standard form. So this is where we want to end up. Now, we can't start with that unless the clue that they give us is that we have the slope, which in all these 1 through 6 here, I see the slope. So we have the m value, but that little b represents the y-intercept. And looking at all of these ordered pairs, in order to be on the y-axis, you got to have 0 as your x-coordinate. And none of these ordered pairs that are given here have 0 as their x-coordinate. So we cannot just jump right into that equation. We did that a couple days ago, but the clues allowed us to do that. So for the most part, if we stick with point slope form and then transfer it into slope intercept form, it'll work. So we've already practiced doing that. We just haven't quite done it this way. So number one, they're giving us the ordered pair, x, y. They're giving us the slope value of -3/4. So we're just going to put it into point slope form. Y minus 2 equals -3/4 times the quantity x minus 8. And so there's our point slope form. They want the slope intercept form. So I'm going to distribute the -3/4 through y minus 2. You can use your calculator here. -3/4 x. -3/4 times -8 is a +6. And so now we just need to rearrange some things. I have my slope, I have my x. I just need to make this -2 come over here to that +6. So in order to do that, we're going to add 2 to both sides. So y equals -3/4 x plus 8. Okay, we did this part yesterday. This was the whole back of our first worksheet. They gave us the equation and we had to rearrange it. Today we're just adding on an extra step. Or in this section, just one little extra step is just writing the equation itself. So kind of taking that front information and the back information and kind of putting it together. So again, this is my x, this is my y, this is my m. So y minus a -5 becomes +5 equals -1/2 times the quantity x minus 4. That's why we practiced this so much yesterday, is so that this becomes, we're familiar with this new form. We're going to distribute the 1/2 through the -1/2. Y plus 5 equals -1/2 x plus 2. When you multiply -4 by -1/2, you get a +2. And now all we need to do is make this 5 come over here to this 2. So to do that, we got to subtract 5 from both sides. Y equals -1/2 x minus 3. And there you have the slope in y-intercept form. Let's try number 5 here. Same concept. You just take the ordered pair. I do think it helps if you label them x and y. This time it doesn't really matter because they're the same thing. And I just like to bring in the letter m. So y minus 2 equals 1/2 times the quantity x minus 2. Distribute the 1/2 through to both terms. Y minus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 1. And now I need to bring that -2 over to the -1. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. All right, so that's the first part. Second part, the clues get a little bit more difficult. They're not giving us everything we need. They're still telling us, though, that we're looking for the slope-intercept form of the equation. So our answers are still going to be y equals mx plus b. Okay, and then now they're giving us 2 points. So they're giving us 2 points on the line, but they're not giving us slope, and we have more than we need for the point. So you get to pick whatever point you want to plug in. I'm going to use this one as my ordered pair, just because they're smaller numbers. And then I have to use both of them to find the slope. So the first thing we have to do is calculate slope. So remember that's, I'm just going to label these x and y as well. So our slope formula that you might want to have on your paper up here is y minus y over x minus x. So we're going to do that calculation first. Calculate m. So I'm going to do 6 minus a negative 10, which becomes plus 10. If I do 6 on top first, then I have to pick negative 1 to go on top or on the bottom first. So negative 1 minus 7. When I work this sideways here, I get 6 plus 10 is 16, and negative 1 and negative 7 is negative 8, and that simplifies to a negative 2 slope. I can put it over 1, but I don't need it when I'm calculating, only when I'm graphing. So now I'm going to take all of that information and I'm going to put it into the equation. So they didn't ask us to find the slope, they want us to write the equation. So I'm going to again use this ordered pair. You can use either one. We'll get the same answer when we transform it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to say y minus 6 equals negative 2x plus 1. And I'm going to distribute the negative 2. This part is the same thing. Y minus 6 equals negative 2x minus 2. I need to bring that 6 over, add 6 to both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. So basically, when you write the equation of a line, you are giving it its name. So the name of the line that goes through these two ordered pairs, negative 1, 6, and 7, negative 10, is y equals negative 2x plus 4. And in that name, you can tell certain parts about the graph. I know that that graph crosses the y-axis at positive 4, and I know that it's falling to the right at a rate of 2 to 1, down 2 for every one it goes to the right. That's what you're saying when you give an equation. You could check your equation is correct with the other point. If you plug in this x and this y in for the ordered pair, if I plug in 7 here for x and do the math, I should get negative 10. That's an easy thing you can do on your calculators just to see if you're doing them correct. Let's go ahead and skip to number 9 here. So on number 9, I'm going to first calculate my slope. I'm going to write xy, just so my brains can see them. I'm actually going to use my little loops so I know who goes with who. Okay, y is on top, x is on the bottom. I can loop on top, loop on the bottom. Kind of helps keep things straight. I didn't put arrowheads on my loop. I'm going to look at it, and I want that negative 25 to go second. So that instead of subtracting 25, or when I subtract a negative 25, it turns into plus 25. So 3 take away a negative 25 becomes 3 plus 25. Because I started with 3 on top first, I'm going to start with negative 1 first on the bottom, negative 1 minus 6. 3 plus 25 is 28. And negative 1 and negative 6 makes negative 7. Kind of running out of room there, but I end up with a slope of negative 4. 28 divided by negative 7 simplifies to negative 4. Now that I have my slope, I'm going to go ahead and write my slope-intercept form. I'm going to choose this ordered pair just because it's smaller. I feel like try to help yourself out. Positive numbers. If they're positive and negative, smaller numbers, right? Try to help yourself out. So y minus 3 equals my slope, negative 4, times x plus 1, because it's a negative 1. Distribute the negative 4 through. Y minus 3 equals negative 4x minus 4. Watch your signs. And then bring that 3 over. This is all making you really good at your algebra, watching your signs, slowing down, distributing, all that good stuff. Y equals negative 4x minus 1. One more in this section. Same concept. We're going to find the slope, xy, xy. My slope is going to be my y's together over my x's. I'm going to pick 2 minus a negative 1, becomes plus 1. Started with 2 on top, so I got to start with 4 on the bottom first. 4 minus 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4 take away 10 is negative 6. This ends up being a negative 1/2 slope, which is fine. Just have a fraction. Pick an ordered pair. I think that 4, 2 looks like the best ordered pair to use here. So I'm going to use the 4, 2. They're both positive, which means in the point slope form, they're going to both look negative. 1 minus 2 equals negative 1/2. Be careful with your signs. X minus 4. Distribute the negative 1/2 through. Y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. And then add the 2 over. Add the 2 over. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. If you did everything correct there. All right, so then there's a back side. The back side, we got a couple word problems. We've had word problems all throughout. So 13, a little bit different word problem. Now what's going to happen, you got to think about what lesson we're in. They're giving us a point and they're giving us a slope. So last time they gave us a point and the y-intercept, the beginning amount. Dance lessons cost 7, dances cost $82. I'm sure there's a cost per dance lesson and there might be a beginning fee, just like when we did the movie rentals, right? The movie rental, though, told us what the beginning initial fee was. I think it was $10 a month, but then also a per movie charge, like a $2 per movie charge. We don't have that here. We don't have the beginning charge. We don't have the per amount. What they're giving us is data. I know that 7 dances goes with $82, and I know 11 dance lessons, cost $122. So let's go ahead and write those as order pairs. 7 goes with $82. 11 goes with $122. I do not have a beginning. I do not have a y-intercept. I don't have a slope. But I do have 2 points in the data that I can come up with the information, right? And so we're going to write our slope using our slope formula. This is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. How to keep track of who's x and who's y? Lessons is an independent variable. It could affect the price. The amount of lessons could have an effect on the price or the cost, and so the cost is dependent. The cost depends on the number of lessons. The y is on top, the x is on the bottom, so I'm just going to do that off to the side here. Slope is 122 minus 82 over 11 minus 7. I keep doing this, squeezing it right by the edge of my board. So I'm going to keep going here. 122, take away 82 is 40. And 11 take away 7 is 4. So my slope is 10. And what that means in this case, it's going to be $10 per lesson. But if it was just $10 per lesson, my lessons for 7 lessons would be $70, right? So there's a per charge as well. So let's go ahead and show the work doing that. Now, a lot of you guys can guess and check that. I'm not looking for the guess and check. I'm looking for the algebra. So now that we have the slope, we can go ahead and put this in slope-intercept form. Write a linear equation. It's saying cost for L lessons. Let's just do it as x and y first. So y minus, I'm going to use the 7 and the 82. Y minus 82 equals 10 times x minus 7. Y minus 82 is equal to 10x minus 70. We're going to add 82, and some of you guys are clever enough to have figured it out that it was going to be $12, right? I need to see the work, though. I'm giving you nice, easy, nice number problems so that you can figure it out nicely. But at the same time, if they weren't nice numbers, you could still go through this process and figure it out. So this is the equation. Now, if we wanted to write it in terms of cost and lessons, the total cost equals $10 per lesson plus the $12. And now it's asking us to use our equation. So now that we have the equation, to find it for 4 lessons, the cost would be 10 times 4 plus 12. That's $40 plus 12 extra dollars. That's like that initial fee, or per month fee, $52. It's going to cost $52 for 4 lessons. And then you guys can kind of use that same concept for the weather. It's 76 for 6,000 foot level of a mountain, and then 49 degrees at a 12,000 foot level of the mountain. Talking about the elevation, how high you're up depends on the weather. So in this case, the degrees don't change the elevation. You're going to want to put the elevation first because it's independent. But the weather, the temperature, could depend on it. So I'm going to help you guys out, but you got to do the rest. So 6,000 elevation causes the 76 degrees. The 12,000 causes the 49 degrees. Good luck.